Formula change. We now have one fewer peg in the product. Pegs have a little bit of a bad reputation. It isn't entirely deserved because most of the pegs that are in the market today are deemed 100% safe. But we do have one fewer peg. The product feels a little bit more powdery or silky. That might be the way of describing it. It soaks in just as quickly, allows you to get to a doorknob just as quickly and have just as much ability to open that without sliding off. So we're excited about that formula. It does represent a very, very minor change, and obviously change freaks a lot of people out in some cases, but hopefully you guys as leaders will be able to give them your honest opinion of the product, and hopefully that honest opinion is highly favorable in terms of the formulation. Another major change, all body butters are now have an induction seal on the top of them. I don't know if we have any left that actually still have an induction seal on the top of them.
Probably not.
But this one has at least a half of an induction seal on the top of it. Oh,
and
there
scrubs,
it is.
right?
What?
And scrubs, right?
And scrubs, yes. So all of the tub products have this induction seal. And that means that we no longer need will have an outer seal over this lid, ever. And you will also see zero leakage within that outer seal on these products because the induction seals are basically fail-proof. They have less than a 0.025% chance of failing in shipment at any level. The one thing that we did have a little bit of a hiccup with that you may have already noticed, some of you, from an initial run perspective with our Posh Lab partner, is that there's a wax seal that holds that metal foil to the liner of the lid that in some cases did not release, did not get enough heat to release. And so when you go to unscrew the lid, it will not unscrew. To save your life, you can put it in front of somebody like Scott Combs, big, burly, security guard looking Scott Combs, and he can't undo it, literally. But it takes 3 seconds with a blow dryer or 3 seconds with warm water, either one of those two things, to melt that wax and immediately release that seal. And all future product coming in is being addressed. There won't be a problem with the future product. But that's something that I would communicate with your downlines, particularly from a transition kit perspective, and everybody that's getting that initial shipment of product that could, in fact, have that particular issue or challenge. We have only found it with scrubs and with body butters, but we can't rule out the possibility that it might also affect these. So just be aware of that. Speaking of this is obviously a big change. However, the formula of the product inside is unchanged. That is the exact same as what it has been. Nothing on that front has changed. This also has an induction seal. This one was open for the purpose of smelling what was inside, so it doesn't look solid anymore. My recommendation with this product, particularly during the summer months when you get it and it's in a straight oil form, because it will be straight liquid, is to put it in a freezer for 2 to 4 hours before distributing the product. That will be enough, if you're giving it to a customer they're coming to pick it up or whatever the situation may be. Even if you aren't receiving the product yourself and it's shipping directly to a customer, encourage them to put it in the freezer for 2 to 4 hours. That will allow them to have a better customer experience when they go to open the product because it was slightly overfilled in all the initial batches, meaning we got so close to the neck here that if they open that and it's straight oil, just the shifting of the process of opening it is going to cause a little bit of spillage. Most likely, and rather than have a negative experience, if they put that product into the freezer, 2 hours, it is going to be solid through and through. They won't have any spillage when they go to open it, and then they can just scoop it out like a body butter. It will immediately melt in their hand, in their hands and wherever they intend to apply it, and they'll be good to go. Also, the first lot will be bagged because as it ran down the manufacturing line before doing this process here, this little shimmy, before it got its induction seal, it spilled over the sides because it was being overfilled. And that spillage got trapped in the neck, these threads of the neck, and in the lid. That means that all 30,000 of these that arrived had to be opened at the home office one at a time. We had to wipe every one of them down at the neck and within the lid to get it off. And we had to then close them back up, and we chose to bag them again just in case. The good news is that none of the seals were compromised. None of the seals failed. We had 100% quality on our seals, which is really good news for consumers because this is going to turn into a liquid in shipment, guaranteed, at least during the next few months. Unless you're shipping up to, I don't know, Maine or something, and then it might be solid at that point, who knows. That is pretty much everything to tell you about the tubs. Also, high citrus level products like Blissed Out, which smells just like 7-Up, which is a really invigorating thing in the shower. We shouldn't have any more product warpage with the containers that are high in citrus because of the induction seal that's in them, and because this is now a PET container as opposed to polypropylene, which reacts to citrus differently. So high levels of citrus should be okay, and that should make for a nicer presentation of product. Masks are in tubes, and the reason that masks are in tubes is so that people do not have to physically touch the product, and that we can actually reduce the amount of preservative that's in that product. So people can open this up, apply it directly to a mask brush, such as what is being sold on the portal, and then apply it directly to the skin where it's designed to be used. These two products both have bentonite and clay in them. Clay, which is kaolin or bentonite. Both of those products are going to generate a little bit of redness or heat because they're both going to be extracting a slight amount of oils and impurities from the skin. However, this one is going to have a little bit less in it and is a little bit more nutrifying. Okay, so it's
the
that
blueberry
extract and stuff.
mask.
We're trying to push that into
The other one is the Giving Life mask.
We don't want it to be pulled out. So this, of course, needs to sit on the skin for a sufficient amount of time to allow that to happen. It is, of course, a soothing mask. That's its purpose, but it does not replace Stay Gold as a moisturizing mask. So for those of you who have customers that are using Cackle Spackle that are following up with something like Stay Gold, keep them going with something like Stay Gold. Don't replace Stay Gold with this. If you're going to replace Stay Gold with anything, it should be Apricots Overnight or perhaps one of the new face oils. Both of those would be sufficiently moisturizing to replenish what the skin needs that might be drawn out of the skin. Both of these are also anti-aging. That was another question that came up. The key ingredients that we've added to these have anti-aging properties in both cases, but this one might be a little higher on that particular front. This is called Giving Me Life. Giving Me Life. Calling All Fairies is exactly the same as Calling All Fairies when it was an exclusive product. This is an aggressive glycolic acid exfoliating face mask. This is a chemical exfoliating face mask. Of course, glycolic acid sounds really harsh, but as you all know, it's a sugar or derived from sugar. And something that you would want customers to use no more than 1 to 3 minutes. Anything longer than that, it's a problem. Also, customers with psoriasis or eczema, probably not a good idea to put a chemical exfoliator on them anywhere, period. It will generate, it has the potential to generate responses that they might not otherwise have, on their faces on a normal basis. Maybe they only get their eczema or psoriasis on their body or their back or something like their arms. That could actually create that problem on their face if they weren't careful. Just a little thing to be aware of.
How much more is the New York Minute had the glycolic acid in it as well? How much more does that have in it?
This is, I'm going to say 0.5% or so higher in its glycolic acid content than in a New York Minute. But New York Minute has the difference of having some bentonite and clay in it as well. And so it's that bentonite and clay is pulling at the same time that stuff is being pushed, if that makes sense. So this has none of that, and it's all push, no pull into the, into the skin.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, New York Minute, because it has clays in it, it has a bit of a pull effect, meaning things are being drawn from the skin at the same time that you've got a glycolic acid sitting in the product, which is making contact with the skin, which is acting as an exfoliator, whereas this is all push because there's no clays in it. Sorry.
All pull.
No, it's all push. It's the clays that pull, no clays is push.
So would you say that you would suggest maybe following up Cackle Spackle with Fairies if you want to get all of the excess gunk out of your pores, or no?
If you've got excess gunk in your pores, then you're not actually cleansing and this would be true of either Cackle Spackle or of Whole Lava Love, thank you. And if you've got excess gunk there, then you're not rinsing as thoroughly as you need if you're rinsing with the product. And my recommendation with a mask in terms of removal is a hot washcloth. And in this case, probably a white one that you're comfortable with bleaching, because you're gonna, you have the ability to stain other products that you might not otherwise be able to bleach that out of if it were to get, go through the dryer inadvertently. Happened in my ass. True story. Great questions. Any other questions? At this point, I sort of want to open it up. One of the questions that has come up that has been that I want to clarify is the Thieves Blend here. Everybody thinks Thieves Blend, and apparently there's a consensus that, well, that has to be young essential living or young living or whatever it is. It's not theirs. And nor do they have any kind of patent on it. They've simply trademarked a name, and so they happen to have a trademark on a name, and that's it. Thieves oil has been around theoretically since the 1400s in the Black Plague, and it's been called such for a long time, so good luck actually enforcing that trademark. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but I'd be surprised. It has the same concept blend, but at our own posh, unique levels to make it something that you can apply bearably to skin and still tolerate yourself while wearing it. In some cases, that's not possible with other companies' products. Best application is where I applied it with Terryberry last night. 10 minutes, thank you. Anywhere that has the ability to intake viruses or bacteria. So face is a great place. Around the mouth, around the nose, directly on the nose. Hands are another great place to apply it. Neck and chest are places where you'll see it applied as well. You can do the bottom of your feet as well. There's anywhere that you might otherwise apply, you know, a Vicks type product or other things like that. Just expect this to have a lot of better, you know, beneficial skin benefits. Beneficial skin benefits.
I've heard that thieves oil is actually also really good for acne. Is that if you rubbed it on your face?
That will be dependent upon the individual and the type of acne that they have. It can be, but I would hate to make a universal statement that it's going to be good for everyone's acne, because that would likely not be the case.
Because the oils, people tell them to use thieves oil on their acne, so I figured that would come up with that stick. Okay. Yeah,
it could very well be very efficacious in preventing and or treating acne breakouts.
Okay, so I just have to know, what product are you most excited about? Like, what's the most unique product in this line that you're bouncing off the walls to tell us about? Which one?
Like last time was Whole Lava Love.
Yeah, last time was Whole Lava Love.
I will be honest with you. I never thought that I would get as excited about a lip mask as I.
Okay.
I mean, as a guy, the very concept of putting a lip mask on before I go to bed is a little awkward. I don't want to turn my man card entirely, but the reality is that I get chapped lips just like everybody else, and I struggle with finding a product that is really effective in treating it. And this for me has been like miraculous. I love this product, and I carry it with me, and I don't feel like I've traded in my man card. And if people want to disagree with me, that's fine, but hey, my wife will kiss me. So I'll take it because it works. It's good stuff. It has texture. I'm trying to remember if it's the jojoba esters or if it's the shea. I think it's actually little bits of shea because it melts, and those little bits will just immediately melt and absorb right into the lip, the skin of the lips. It's super effective. And this is such a huge hit at the home office with our testing group. Poor Chelsea was struggling with really, really bad lips, and in less than 48 hours, her cracked, bleeding, dry lips were healed. 48 hours. She can't live without it. We had to get more samples in before the product actually came in to just keep her in stock and happy, and she deserves it. So anyway, I love that product. It's probably my favorite.
The difference between the night and the day oil.
Difference between night and day oil. And these would probably be my second favorite products and if not my first, because I keep using Dawn on Me.
I couldn't tell by you forcing it on my hand and making me.
Yes, I did force it on your hand and made you slap yourself a couple times. I may have even encouraged the slapping part, but I'm just kidding.
A lot of people do.
Main difference between Dawn on Me and Call It a Night is Call It a Night does have the tiniest bit of olive oil in it. It is ever so slightly heavier than Dawn on Me. That being said, it also doesn't have the ability to transfer to anything, like a pillowcase. Neither does Dawn on Me. It's not going to do it. I've used both. In fact, I didn't have Call It a Night for a little while. I ran out of it, and so I was using this at night and couldn't manage to stay in a pillowcase or anything. So they're super light. They absorb really, really well. And where do they get used?
Face and neck.
Face, neck.
Face and chest.
Keep going down.
Keep going down. Good for you ladies that sleep on your sides. Long term, you want lots of moisture, lots of collagen restructuring going on.
In that area. And my man.
It may actually repair. It does have the ability to do so relative to the ingredients that are in there. The squalene in particular has some restructuring capability to it from a collagen perspective. It can rebuild collagen. At the very least, it will firm that skin up over time and help it to not get that sort of leathery potential texture that you can get when you do that, when you're bringing them in.
Body butter. Can you talk about the difference in body butter texture? I know there's a price, it's not really a price increase, but it's a quantity decrease, so it's a price increase.
Yeah.
What is the formulation difference? How
Okay, fresh creamy milk.
Right.
Girl Crush.
Right.
Fresh creamy milk, Girl Crush. Basically, what's the texture differences between them? All of them are based on previous bases that we've used in the past. So Brazilian bombshell, mango, marshmallow. What?
So they're not all as thick as Girl Crush?
They're not all as thick as Girl Crush. That is correct. In fact, when this is all said and done, we're going to give everybody about 20 minutes, even after the session is over, when you're supposed to be going to lunch. Is it lunch that's next? Oh, I do have one more after this? Oh, well, what do you know?
No, I think there is
Maybe I am 4. I'm happy to keep going. I will go as long as you guys want me to be here. Literally, I'm happy to do that. But either way, you'll get an opportunity to try every single product, and after everybody's had an opportunity to try it, we're going to start giving it away in a very orderly fashion that doesn't involve stealing or tackling each other. Yes. Go ahead.